It was supposed to be the perfect weekend. Months of planning, late-night group chats, and shared excitement had all led to this moment, our much-anticipated road trip to Deltopia. For the uninitiated, Deltopia is one of those wild college beach parties that feels like something out of a coming-of-age movie. Sun, music, dancing, strangers who become friends, and the kind of chaos that makes stories you'll be telling for years. There were 5 of us, me, Hunter, Jordan, Lex, and Bree. We had been close since freshman year and decided that senior spring deserved a proper send-off. Hunter's sister lived near Isla Vista, just a few blocks from the main beach where all the Deltopia madness would unfold. She and her roommates had graciously offered their apartment as our crash pad for the weekend. According to Hunter, they were all super chill, and that proved true as soon as we arrived. The apartment was a vibe, succulents on every windowsill, string lights casting a warm glow, and a faint scent of lavender in the air. Her roommates greeted us with hugs and drinks, instantly making us feel at home. The plan was simple. Drop our stuff, pre-game a bit, and dive headfirst into the madness of Deltopia the next day. But even the best-laid plans can unravel in the most unexpected ways, and our unraveling came in the form of one person, Amir. Now, let me be clear. Amir is not a friend. I say this not out of pettiness, but from years of accumulated experience. He's the kind of guy who orbits social groups without ever truly being part of them. He's insecure, loud, desperate for validation, and somehow manages to hijack every conversation to make it about himself. Hunter knows Amir from back home. They went to the same high school, and from what I gather, Amir clung to Hunter like a life raft during those years. Over time, most of us had distanced ourselves from Amir. Too many awkward hangouts, too many uncomfortable encounters, too many crossed boundaries. A few weeks before the trip, Amir had casually mentioned to Hunter that he might roll through Deltopia. Hunter, being the diplomatic guy he is, probably gave a vague, "Yeah, man, maybe we'll see you there," without ever intending to coordinate anything. None of us brought up Amir during the 6-hour drive down the coast. We were too busy singing along to throwback playlists and arguing over snacks. It wasn't until that first night, when we went on a quick alcohol run, that Amir made his unexpected appearance. We had just exited the liquor store, arms full of bottles and mixers, when we saw him, standing on the curb with his hands stuffed into his jacket pockets, looking like he'd been waiting for us. No one said anything, we just kept walking. But Amir, ever the oblivious soul, simply fell into step with us like he'd been invited all along. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Why are you guys so surprised to see me?" I bit my tongue. Jordan rolled his eyes. Bree whispered something to Lex, who stifled a laugh. We kept walking. Back at the apartment, Amir asked if he could use the bathroom. Then, without waiting for a reply, he bolted up the stairs and let himself in. I exchanged a look with Hunter, who shrugged helplessly. None of us wanted to cause a scene, especially not in front of Hunter's sister and her roommates. So, we let it slide. One night, we told ourselves. One night, and then we'd figure out how to shake him. But Amir had other plans. He didn't just use the bathroom. He made himself at home. Within minutes, he had taken over the aux cord, blasting a chaotic playlist that swung from screamo to EDM with no warning. He opened one of our bottles without asking, plopped himself on the couch, and started recounting some exaggerated story from high school that only he found entertaining. The vibes shifted. You could feel it. The room grew tense. Conversations turned awkward. Hunter's sister gave him a look that clearly said, "Who is this guy?" I pulled Hunter aside. "Dude, he can't stay here. You know that, right?" Hunter ran a hand through his hair. "I know. I'll talk to him. Just not right now. Let's get through tonight." But we didn't get through the night, because Amir, in his never-ending quest to be the center of attention, managed to spark a chain of events that none of us could have seen coming. Story 2: The Petrol Station. It was supposed to be an ordinary trip. 4 of us, Ali, Fad, Samira, and Nada, were driving from Lahore to Murray for a weekend getaway. Tired of work, city life, and monotony, we'd impulsively decided to escape into nature. The journey started cheerfully: laughter, music, and the usual snack bickering that comes with a road trip among friends. But we had no idea this joyful trip would turn into a nightmare. Near Kalar Kahar, Ali suddenly pulled the car over. "Guys, we're almost out of petrol. We need to find a station soon." GPS showed the nearest one about 5 kilometers away, down a deserted side road. It was past midnight, but we figured it wouldn't take long. The road was dark and eerily quiet. Tree branches arched over the tarmac like grasping shadows. "We joked about it," Samira said. "Feels like a scene from a horror film." We laughed, but our hearts beat a little faster. Finally, an old petrol station came into view. Its sign was broken, the lights dim, and only one pump seemed operational. No staff in sight, just a tall, gaunt man sitting on a rickety chair, his face half hidden in the gloom. We got out. Ali greeted him. No response. The man stood slowly and walked to the pump, wordlessly filling our tank. His silence was unnerving, his movements robotic, deliberate. "Is there a toilet?" Fad asked. The man pointed mutely toward the back of the station. Fad headed off while the rest of us waited by the car. 5 minutes passed, then 10. "Where is he?" Nada whispered nervously. Ali tried calling Fad's phone, no signal. Samara decided to check the area where the man had pointed. The moment she turned the corner, she screamed, stumbling back, "There's blood on the walls!" Our bodies went cold. Ali yanked the car door open. "Get in now!" But the silent man was now walking toward us. Something glinted in his hand, a knife, maybe, or a tool. Ali revved the engine and we sped away, hearts pounding. Only one thought echoed in our minds. Where was Fad? Then, just as we rounded a bend, another car appeared ahead. It stopped, and Fad stepped out. "Where the hell did you guys go?" I was looking for the loo. The door was jammed. We stared at each other. Samira stammered, but we saw blood. Fad laughed, probably just red paint. Seriously, there was nothing weird back there. We turned to look back at the petrol station. It was gone. No lights, no pump, no man. Just an empty stretch of road, as if nothing had ever been there. What was that place? Who was that man? We still don't know the truth of that night. But one thing's certain, we'll never forget it. The shadow of fear. Sometimes what we see isn't real. Sometimes what we feel won't let us live. And sometimes fear is so strong it pulls us out of reality. On a cold, silent night, Mark and his friends Elliot and Jake decided to explore an abandoned building on the city's edge. Rumors said strange things happened there, things no one spoke of. People called the place cursed, but Mark didn't believe it and convinced his friends to go. "It's just an old building." Mark laughed. Elliot hesitated. "I've always avoided that place." "You're both scared," Jake teased. "We're together, nothing will happen." Inside, the building was eerily silent. Their torchlight revealed decaying walls and an unsettling stillness. Then Jake heard something: footsteps, a door creaking. The sounds were faint but undeniable. They entered a room like an ancient library. Books lay rotting on shelves. The air was thick with tension, as if something approached silently. Jake picked up a book, its pages filled with an unknown, forbidden language. "We should leave," Elliot whispered, but Mark ignored him, flipping through the book. Suddenly, the lights went out. A laugh echoed. A shadow appeared at the door, a figure with glowing eyes. They ran. Every exit was locked. The laughter grew louder. Mark opened a door, only to face a dark alley and those same glowing eyes. They hid in a room with a strange light at its center. Mark moved toward it, but Jake grabbed him. "Stay away," Jake pleaded. Mark shook him off and touched the light, revealing the building's truth. It wasn't just a structure. It was a world where the building's tormented souls still lingered. Then a deep voice boomed, "Now it's your turn. Which story did you like best? Comment below. Subscribe and like for more stories. Thank you."